doing?
I'm just fixing a little spot on our laminate flooring that the dog ate when she was a puppy. And so we took this other little piece here that was from another spare piece of laminate, and you so graciously pried it off with a putty knife, the laminate section, without damaging it, which was very nice. Then I took a little piece of paper and I pressed down on the hole, traced out the perimeter of the flawed area, and then cut it out and got it almost as close as I could. That looks pretty good. Now I have a file, a little mini rasp file, and I'm just kind of cleaning the edges of the hole out, because I mean, it's not that deep of a gash. So you look at the thickness of this piece. It's a little thin over here, but for the most part, I mean, it's like 1 millimeter thick. So you got to just make sure that the hole is going to have enough depth. You don't want to make a patch that's going to stick out, because every time you run, somebody walks over it, or you don't want to catch an edge on it. You also don't want to have the vacuum cleaner hit it. This is pretty dang close. We're going to have to keep trimming this down. I mean, I don't want to overdo it and then lose the progress we had. I actually tried to match, this was your idea, we tried to match this vein right here, this little wood grain line, to this line right here, and it looks pretty good. All we have to do is just trim the excess now off of this piece. And what I was doing is I was just using scissors. Just got to go really slow, and you got to go real easy. You got to make sure that you don't cause any more cracks to form on the edge of the laminate. So it's a very tedious process, but if you're trying to just touch up one little spot on your otherwise pretty good flooring, there's no point in replacing your entire floor if all you have to do is a little patch job. Nobody's going to know this is even here once you patch it. From 3 feet away, I can't even tell. I can't even tell it's there. It's crazy. It blends right in. If I wanted to be picky, I could even do something with some kind of a marker, or lighter tan type of paint, and just draw a little bead right there. But that's the only spot I can really, if I squint my eyes, once this is flush, we're not going to know that there was ever a problem. Look at it there. Now you can see there's a problem. There's a hole in the floor. Look at the difference. Now you're not going to get 100% perfection here, but this is Mickey Mousing 101, right?
Yep.
Ding. Okay, so we've got the laminate patch inset, trimmed properly. Get a little bit of a crazy shadow, but you can only really tell from certain angles that it's been patched up. From this distance, I mean, can you even tell? It's kind of crazy. But just to prevent these little gaps from showing, we've got these little touch-ups, these little crayons that come on a furniture repair kit. So you come over here, you're just kind of like filling in the gaps with the crayon. Now, I mean, you mop the floor or something, or you vacuum. We don't know how long this is going to last, but it's basically the same concept as if you were touching up a scratch on a piece of furniture. I mean, the crayon it's made out of wax. It's going to fill in the gap. It's going to cover over the ugly black line. That might not be the best possible color. That's a darker one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make it worse, I think, because it's going to make it look more like an
outline.
An outline, yeah. But that other color seems like it was better. You've got a white here too.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the white would show up too much. Here, you try this.
Yeah, I think the white will show too much.
Show up too much? Just do a sample. Yeah, I don't like that. Scratch it out with your fingernail. But yeah, that yellow one was probably the best. Go ahead, touch it up a little. So now that you get to this point and you get to this distance, you definitely don't see the crack or the gap. And now when you're walking in the house, It's like if this stuff wasn't here, we wouldn't even know where the spot was. Would barely even find it. Let's see. Certain angles with the lighting, you're going to be able to see it, but only if you're looking for it. It's a little dark with just natural light, but let's see. It's way better than an ugly green oval on your floor. You know, and to be honest, coming in the house, my eye isn't going to be drawn to that spot. I can barely tell it's there. There's going to be only one little angle that you're going to see it from. And, you know, I just hope that this little Mickey Mouse tidbit patch job DIY trick gives you guys a little bit of inspiration for, you know, fixing some damaged tiles of your laminate flooring. If you've appreciated this video, please like us. We have a website, arenaAccessories.com. If you need anything in terms of everyday carry products, check us out. Other than that, thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Here's a quick follow-up video during daylight hours so you can you spot it? Can you spot the flaw? Can you spot the Mickey Mouse patch job? Let me see if I can even find it. Oh, there it is. Only because I know. Because I live here. You don't see it until you get right up on it. So that's basically it. That's a little bit of laminate that we cut to match. If you wanted to get fancy, you could cut the floor into a square pattern or any other kind of pattern. I just wanted to go with the shape that it was already gashed out as and just kind of match it so I didn't have to do any further damage. Oh, the puppy! The puppy wants to know what we're doing! Anyways, yeah, if you have a floor that just has a few flaws and you don't want to go through the aggravation of replacing an entire plank all the way to the wall, coming all the way back, you know, and going from a certain direction, that's a really good option. This area here was constantly tagged by a beagle I once had. He was peeing on the corner of the wall. This whole area got eaten up by his urine. It was a mess. So thankfully we were able to pull the fridge out, get at the moldings behind the refrigerator, remove those, remove the boards very carefully. I think we started from this edge. We were able to break the seam here, pop it out with some with a putty knife or some ingenuity, and basically this was replaced, that one was replaced, this one was replaced, and this one was replaced. But initially what I did was I just made cuts on the existing boards that were here and here, and it had a seam going 4 deep. So every time we stepped over here, the whole area just pressed down, and it was terrible. So I would definitely recommend not replacing boards and leaving the seam. You have to stagger the seams with it. We weren't able to save the lip edge on all of these. Sometimes they crack off. I mean, what we did is we slid them in and jammed it so that the lip would pop right underneath it, because the lip is on this one, it's below, and the other one is on top. I can't really demonstrate that while I'm filming this, but you get the idea. Here's another spot that we touched up. Okay, let's rub away the black lab hair. That you'd barely know. You would never know that was damaged. I took 2 little chunks, and for adhesive, I just used the Loctite super glue gel. That stuff is awesome. I use it on a lot of other things, but you can use any epoxy, any really good glue. There was a V-shaped cut that's been here ever since I bought the house. It's been here 16 years. This house has been built, I don't know, 26 years ago. I don't remember if I did this or if the previous owner did it. Probably the previous owner, but it was like a V-shaped gash. I just pieced together, and then I did the crayon over it. And from this distance, you'd never know. You'd never know it was there. There's another piece by the sink. So right about there, just had to take a putty knife and pry off from. You got to have spare pieces, obviously, or you got to go into a closet area somewhere that has some extra laminate flooring that you don't care about damaging, And, you know, if you take a putty knife or a razor utility knife and you go real thin underneath the backside, leave a little bit of meat on the back. That helps so that it's not as brittle when you're cutting it. But try to leave like a millimeter or a little less than a millimeter. And, you know, you can work wonders with just, you know, piecing it together. It's so much better than just leaving it as is. And honestly, for the amount of time that we spent, it was totally worth it. So hopefully this helps you, you know, give you a little inspiration on, you know, an idea for a little patch job on your flooring. Hope this video finds you safe and well, and hope you have a great day.
And tell them why.
Huh?
And tell them why we're doing this.
Why are we doing this?
Fix, because now we gotta pay for a roof.
Yep, we gotta pay for a roof.
So you gotta do the little makeshift jobs for a little while till you can afford the real floor again.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.